Welcome, welcome, welcome.
I'm Benny.
And I'm Anna.
And together we're
Benana.
So today I'm going to be talking to Anna about her adventures over to Europe and rescuing her cousin from Ukraine. So this all started back on February 24th.
Yes.
And so I usually keep my phone on silent at night so that, if only people call me, they have to call twice. And so it was probably like 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and I get a call from Anna, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this has to be important. It actually, went through. So I'm sitting there and, get on the phone, and she is just in a panic, and she's crying, and she's distraught, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. And so then I put on the news and I realized what's going on in Ukraine. And, I told her, I'm like, hey, we're going to figure this out. And, I'm going to be here 100% to support you, whatever you need. So, Anna, how about you tell me a little bit about, how all that experience was?
So I was about to go to sleep, and we have constantly TV running because it's really nice to have that background noise, and it's usually the news or some local channel or anything. And I started seeing something about Ukraine and what's happening over there. And I got on internet. I started researching. I was like, what is going on? I went into crazy panic mode in a way. And I was trying to contact my family members, or my friends, and everybody that I was kept in contact with throughout the years, because I don't like burning bridges. And so basically, I could not get a hold of anybody. I did not know what to do. And I called Benny, and I called her and called her. I think I called her like 5 times maybe. And she finally answers. And then this is when I truly broke down. I did not, at the moment, it was panicking. I did not understand what was happening. And sometimes at the weakest moments, you have to have a really good support system.
I got you.
And so that's why I had to really reach out to her. And then she's like, okay, let's be rational about this. Like, what's going on? Let's figure out. And I just come down, and I finally got a hold of my cousin. And at the time she was like, no, I have job. I have responsibilities. I have my parents here. We're gonna write this out. It's gonna be over very, very soon. It's probably just nothing, just like little picking here and there. And then later on, about a few days later, she called me in panic. She's like, okay, so I work at the airport. The military side of the airport got hit. I got thrown on the ground because of how scared she was at the time.
Yeah.
And at the moment, she said that the only thing I could think about is my daughter.
Yeah.
I rushed home and talked to the parents, and this is when I called you. I wish she was here.
I know. We'll get her on.
Yeah. And she called me. She's like, I'm leaving. Can you help me? Please help me. I was like, I will meet you somewhere. Let's figure out where. I was like, okay, so can you drive to Poland? I can probably meet you in Poland. Because obviously I cannot fly to Ukraine because of the conflict and everything.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, well, Poland is a country that I can actually go to.
Yeah.
But then we're like, okay, well, everybody's going to Poland. There are hundreds and hundreds of refugees already arriving in Poland.
Yeah.
Okay, what is the other country that I can go to that's closer? Romania.
Yeah.
I was like, perfect. It's not very far drive. You can make it within a day. No, it took her 4 long days to actually get through the border, because they sat at the border for a very, very long time. And there are, as they were driving, they don't know where the shots were coming from, if it's locals or if it's somebody's acting up or if it's actual soldiers. She doesn't know that.
Yeah.
And the car in front of her got hit with bullets and then like got swerved, and she just pushed through. She put Sophie in the back seat and covered her up with blankets, and she said, "Sophie, do not raise up and just stay there."
Yeah.
And
that's so terrible.
Her maternal instinct and all her police training kicked in right there.
Oh yeah, she is such a strong woman. I've gotten to know her, and I mean, she is legitimate a bad ass. I mean, like, she's so strong, so intelligent, just so calm in, these crazy situations. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, she's just amazing.
Yeah, and I rushed to my boss's office because it was at nighttime there, but it was like lunchtime. We're actually gonna go have Mexican food. Yeah. So, and basically, like, I got this phone call while I was riding in the car with some of my coworkers to go eat. Yeah, that's what we do. Every Wednesday we go
it's
to this
it's so funny how that you can't, sometimes you just can't get those specific memories out. Like, you probably knew exactly what you were going to have, but now it's ingrained. But I can't remember what I had for breakfast yesterday type thing, but it's, this happened back in February, and it's just ingrained in your head exactly what you were doing at that time. It's just crazy.
So we, I talked to them. Obviously, I was pretty distraught. I was like, I kicked into do mode. I kicked into the mode where I need to be rational. I need to be strong. I cannot break down. I have to do something.
Yeah, solving the problem.
Exactly. And so we start talking, and they were there. They were like, okay, well, let's figure this out. We're like, okay, we need to talk to my boss. Like, we need to talk to my chain of command. And we went into his office, all of us, and told his story and everything. And he's like, go. Family's important. You do what you need to do.
It's so amazing that you have, such support with your, work as well. It's just, it's hard to come by, but it's so great to just have.
I know it's phenomenal how a lot of leaders will show their true colors under fire, or not even under fire. Like, if you need to take care of the employee or anything, they're like, yes.
When time comes to it, they're on it.
Mm-hmm. And that's part of the support system that you need to have.
Yeah, exactly.
So basically, I went home and I started looking at flights to Bucharest, and it was fairly pricey. I dipped into my savings and everything. So at the time, I was like, I don't care. I'll figure out monetary wise afterwards. Yep. So I bought the ticket and I flew out the next morning. And I was trying to like record our everything was happening.
Yeah.
And finally arrived to Bucharest, and it was so emotional. It was so emotional because
when was the last time you saw her?
It was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
5 years ago, I went to Odessa. Yeah, and we did a really great thing over there in Odessa with some job-wise and everything. So, and I actually got to see her. And then before that, I didn't get to see her since I left for this country, like
when you were 16, yeah.
Yeah. And so basically, it was... Okay, we're gonna cut this. I kind of lost my train of thought here a little bit, but it's okay. We'll cut this.
Yeah.
Cut. Check mark.
Yeah. So you get to the airport, and you're finally able to see her after 5 years of not being able to see her. And
yes, and it was just all of these emotions, all of this, with everything that's going on, it just hit me. It hit me to the point where I'm still a woman. We're still allowed to have feelings. Even men allowed to have feelings. Everybody allowed to have feelings.
Oh, yeah.
And we just broke down. And there's this emotional video that I was trying to take it to see how it does, but I couldn't hold my phone straight, and I was like, I don't care at this moment. Yeah. And we just rushed to each other, and we just hugged and cried and hugged. And after that, we just kicked into like do mode.
Yeah.
Because I already got the hotel, I already got everything, and so we got to the car, and seeing that car, seeing like how dirty it is, how packed it is with their life,
yeah,
every single belonging that they could probably take, and it was just, I need to get them home.
Yeah,
I need to bring them so they can be at my house, so they can start a new life here.
Yeah,
I know it's a small part. But to me, it's not a small part. Mm-hmm. To Sofia, it's not a small part.
No.
For Tani, it's not a small part.
Yeah.
So we finally got to the hotel, and we finally settled in, and they finally got to sleep.
Oh my gosh. 4 days. 4 days of driving, and just, that's just ridiculous.
They knocked out. They just laid in this bed, and I couldn't sleep because I'm still time warp, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just watching these two girls sleeping like they haven't slept in days, which they haven't.
Yeah.
And
but they finally feel safe.
Exactly. And then that's when my brain kicked in. I need to get to work. I don't know anything about how to bring refugees to America. I don't know. I started doing research myself.
Yeah.
I started reaching out to people because it's nighttime in Europe, it's daytime here. Therefore, I'm taking care of the girls during the day, and I'm
doing
taking care of
calls at night.
all the business at night.
Yeah.
So imagine how much sleep I got.
Yeah.
But when your adrenaline is rushing, and when you just on that straightforward, you don't need much sleep. Well, you do eventually. I crashed.
Oh, yeah.
But at this time, it was just pure adrenaline, pure just go and get them here, because I still had to go back to work. I still have responsibilities. My hazmat's still at home. Yeah. I need to get back to him. And so, anyways, after they slept, we went to buffet, and they were like, I've never seen so much food, and they were starving because they're just eating like whatever they could bring with them.
Yeah.
And they started putting a lot of stuff in the boxes, thinking they're not going to get any more food. And I was like, relax.
Comes every day.
Relax. We can do this every day.
Yeah.
We can go to places. We can actually relax while I'm trying to figure out my stuff. And it took her a very, very long time to actually get used to it and relax and everything. So I do want to point out like this one story that happened with us in a hotel. So we stayed at this big Sheraton hotel in downtown Bucharest. It was not far from the embassy. That's why we chose the location. And so we went. They have a little heated pool, and it was like, okay, well, the girls need to just relax, and they have like a little spa. So we booked that, and so we were swimming in a pool, and then this man comes in, which is it's a public pool, and it's absolutely normal.
Yeah.
And it's also at like 8 o'clock at night, 8 or 9. I don't remember exact time. And so he start talking to us and just kind of carry on the conversation. And we're just like, oh, yeah, okay. And he's like, well, where's the accent from? I was like, well, Ukraine. He's like, oh, that's so nice. Yeah, my wife and I are here from Israel. We're looking for a very nice young mother-daughter duo to take it back with us.
Jeez.
And I was like...
Because that doesn't sound nefarious at all.
I was like, red flag? Why specifically mother-daughter duo?
Yeah. Well, because they know that none of the males could actually leave Ukraine. All the males are, made to stay back in Ukraine to help fight. And so they knew it was just like prime pickings for them. They're like, well, hey, we know that it's just going to be, women and children coming over. So, oh, geez, that's just so... dirty.
So, and then there are other stories that with him didn't add up, and she's a police officer, and I got some education too, and if we were like, red flag, okay, this conversation is a red flag, we need to kind of stop this. And so he finally decided like, okay, let's just get out of here.
Yeah.
So we left. And as soon as we got to the elevator, he's like, "Oh, hold the door, hold the door." And we're like, "Okay." And he's like, "Oh, what floor? Are you guys on the third floor?" And we were staying on the third floor.
That's creepy.
And we're like, "No, we're on the sixth." So we went up to the sixth floor, and we took the stairs down to the fifth floor. We took the elevator up to the seventh floor, and then went back down to the third floor. So we did all of this different commotion because at the moment our intuition is screaming at us.
Oh, yeah.
So we got to the hotel, and the girls fell asleep finally, and I had to call my dad. I had to call my adopted father. And so I called him. I was like, "Hey, I went to by the pool area because I don't want to wake the girls up." And I was like, "Hey, how's it going? This and that." And guess who shows up? That creepy man again. And he's like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" So I told my dad, I was like, "I'm going to put you on a speakerphone. You do not say anything. You're going to listen to this conversation. And I'm also going to put a camera on because I want to take a picture of this strange man, just in case."
Yeah.
So, and I kind of walked away, went back to the elevator. Guess who got into the same elevator with me? He's like, "Oh, so you are going on the third floor."
Oh my gosh.
So after that, I did my whole other shebang, just going up and down on the elevators, make sure. So we got into the hotel. We locked our door, but we locked our door with the towels, actually tied with the towels, just make sure you don't open it. Because my intuition is screaming at the time, because this is not a random thing. Call me paranoid or anything, but this is not, my awareness was already heightened due to the situation, and my, call them alien tentacles or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't even sound like he's working alone, because it just definitely sounds that there's other people at play, because it's just, I don't know, that's just, I would definitely have my red flag up too.
So, and I woke Tanya up. I was like, we need to pack. And first thing in the morning, we're checking out. So we checked out at 4 o'clock in the morning. And plus we already had this hotel for extra 4 days. So we checked out of the hotel. I found Airbnb because I didn't sleep that night. So I was trying to find an Airbnb or something small, something incognito. And so we checked out, and as we're checking out, they're like, "Oh, why are you leaving so soon?" We're like, "Well, just we need to move on. We got our stuff." So I didn't really have to explain to them.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh no, you should stay. You should stay more." And we're like, "Okay, I get it. You try to make more money, right?" But to us at the time, it was like, So we got in a car and we drove for hours in random direction all throughout Bucharest. Just drove and drove and drove and drove.
Yeah.
Because if we had a tail or anything, this is 4 of us, and I can only do so much with my steel-toe boots.
Yeah.
But so we finally got an Airbnb, and it was really, really cute, and the guy was super sweet. Was able to take care of, do a last-minute booking, because there's a lot of Ukrainian refugees coming in, and all the Airbnbs are getting overbooked because they're housing them for free.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And that's one thing that Airbnb did is absolutely wonderful.
Oh my gosh, I know.
So in the meantime, we submitted the paperwork finally. I had Wayne, I emailed him the paperwork. I was like, "Hey, run to the post office. This needs to get out now."
Yeah.
And so in the meantime, while we're waiting for the paperwork or for any kind of answer, we're like, okay, well, we can't just sit here. There's refugee arrivals at the train station. Let's go see if we can do something, or let's just go see.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to the refugee station, and people realized that I speak both languages, and because a lot of Romanians didn't speak Ukrainian or Russian, and as you know, a lot of Ukrainians are Russian speakers, and they're like, "Oh, you speak English. You can translate for us."
Oh, nice.
They're like, "Are you going to be volunteering here? Are you going to be here for a while?" I was like, "I can help." So that's what we did. So I would translate. Tanya would hand out sandwiches. Sophie will just make small talks with the kids.
Yeah.
It was very nice. Like it was a very nice gesture of them to accept us as volunteers.
Yeah.
But seeing the sadness in people's eyes, seeing their whole life in 2 bags. When I came to America, I had only 2 bags, but I wasn't running from a country.
Yeah.
But this is people that have lost their homes, people that have lost their loved ones. People are carrying their pets.
Yeah.
They brought their cats and dogs, and I saw birds. It was so nice. And talking to some people, they said like I had to leave my pet behind. I couldn't take it. I was running.
Yeah.
And also we were trying to exchange some money because they had grivnas as a Ukrainian money.
Okay.
And we tried to find a bank in Bucharest to exchange the money. And there's only one bank in Bucharest that will take the money. It's by appointment only. And we finally got there, and we had to wait 24 hours to even get this appointment. And I talked to this one man that brought so much tears into my eyes. And so he had only 1 bag. And I asked him, I was like, well, is there anything you need, or like, how was it?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, you know how it was? I don't know how it was. You tell me how it was. You tell me how I should feel when I'm running from the fire and jumping across dead women and children.
Jeez.
And trying to get to the bus and try to get to the train station. And all I have with me is my one backpack. And his daughter lives in England, so she was there too. So like she came to Bucharest to meet her father. So she's taken him back to England. And seeing the tears in his eyes, it just hit me. It just really just put that kind of perspective. And I can't even imagine.
No.
Being to Iraq and Afghanistan and seeing some horrors over there, this hits home. This, I can't even imagine how people truly feel when brothers and sisters are fighting.
Yeah.
Because I was struggling, I am having no answer from the immigration. I'm having nothing. And I'm still reaching out to a lot of people. And I reached out to so many people, all these bridges all these contacts that I've constantly had. And I finally reached out to Maria. We were stationed with Maria in Germany.
Oh my gosh, Maria. Oh, how is she?
Oh, she's amazing. She's doing wonderful. Yeah, she's got a really great job over there. So she stayed in Germany. She bought a house.
That's amazing.
She has a daughter.
Oh my gosh. Oh, little Maria. She's got a daughter. Oh, we are old, aren't we, though? I'm like, it's only been, 18 years, 17 years since we've been in Germany?
Mm-hmm. And so she reached out and said, like, I have a house. I speak Russian. And she can come and stay with me.
Perfect.
And I was like, perfect. So we packed our bags and left that day.
Yeah.
And we went from Romania, through Hungary, through Austria, and like finally made it in Stuttgart area. And so, but we had to stay places on the way because it took us a long time to get to actually Germany. And because I'm running out of money here.
Yeah.
I'm scrambling for whatever I can get because we still need to pay for gas, we still need food and all the necessities.
Yeah.
And so I had this colonel that I used to work for reached out to me, and he said that I'm in Germany. If you need a place to stay for a night or so, my wife and I open our apartment for you.
That's amazing.
I know. It was just so lovely. It was so...
Everybody's so welcoming because they know how hard it is for everybody, and they just want to be there to help. And I think that's the people that we surround ourselves with on a normal basis is, people that are always willing to jump and help out at any moment. And it's amazing because I worked with him as well, and he is just a fantastic leader. He's a great man, and I wouldn't have expected anything less from him.
And his wife is phenomenal as well.
She's horrible.
And the kids, so talented. And Sophie made friends, and they were playing ukulele together. It was so cute. But it was so good to see them. And despite everything is happening, they still found a silver lining. They still found a time to smile, time to cry, and so we stayed in Germany, and I'm still having no answer from immigration services. And I was like, I have to get back. I really have to get back. But I felt safe. I felt the fact
they were safe.
They were safe.
Yeah.
I felt they're in really good hands. Maria's a phenomenal human being. And so I flew back. I went to work, and then I heard about the refugees are coming through the Mexican border.
Yeah.
And I called Tanya. I was like, pack your bags. I'm buying you a ticket. You going to Mexico.
Yes.
And she was like, what? Okay, I do whatever you want me to do. She put 100% trust into me, and I could not break that. I had to carry this, and this was my mission.
Yeah.
And so they flew into Mexico. They had a really hard time at the border. And if I do want to interview Tanya as well, so she speaks better English now.
Yes.
And she's been learning every day from the program that she bought.
Yay.
And so I want to interview her and see her side as well, so she can talk about it, and then how going through different borders.
Yeah. So
she had a really hard time at the Mexican border because they're Ukrainians. There's a different regulations for you to arrive into Mexico. And then so they flew to Mexico City. Then from Mexico City, they went to Tijuana. So I drove all the way down to Tijuana. And so as they're flying into Tijuana, they fly about 30 minutes away. They had to reroute them all the way to Hermosillo. So they turn around in the midair to Hermosillo.
That's so scary.
And I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
I'm in contact with her father, and her father does aviation dispatching. And he's looking into all his resources and everything. And I guess it says because of the fog. But I'm looking outside. I'm literally sleeping in my car right outside, and it's 2:30 in the morning, and there's no fog. There was no fog.
Yeah,
But we'll never know. Maybe they're just scared of it. They said it is common occurrence that their airplane will turn around because of that.
Yeah.
So anyways, so they arrived in Hermosillo, and they got held there for over 10 hours, I believe. And basically, they didn't have a lot of water. They had like this small sandwiches that they were running out, and there's 40 Ukrainians on this flight.
Yeah.
And they were asking, they were like, well, all women and children, we have a place for you to stay if you would like to stay at this hotel.
No.
And
stay at the airport.
So she called me. She's like, so they have a free hotel that can. I was like, no. I yelled at her. I yelled at her like she was my daughter.
Sit at that gate and wait for that plane to take off, and you're on it.
And it was so amazing that our locals, as soon as they heard about that, locals stood up and they said, no one is leaving this airport.
That's good.
Yeah. So they finally got on the flight, they finally arrived, and I was like, well, wait a minute, there's 40 Ukrainians over there. We gotta run to the border. We gotta go now.
Yeah.
So we got to the border, And I was like, okay, well, this is all you now. There's your passports. This is all you. You go through the border control.
Yeah.
You have to get that humanitarian parole stamp in your passport.
Yeah.
And I said, I will meet you on the other side. And we hugged, and I went through the border, and I sat, and I sat, and I sat there, and it was already 3 hours in, and I'm not getting any kind of anything, like no news, and there's me and some other Ukrainians over there too, meeting up their families, or there's a bus that was able to transport them to Sacramento to help them out because they have a really, really large Ukrainian area in Sacramento, so they can provide that kind of help.
Yeah.
And so all of us freaking out. We just, what's going on? What's going on? Then we get a word that they're going to be released at 5 in the morning.
Yay.
So we spread out and guarded every single exit of the border patrol, and then we saw some cars coming out with detainees in the back. We're like, is there anybody we know? Is there anybody we know? And then it was cold, and I haven't slept. Well, I kind of maybe slept in an hour in a car.
Yeah.
I had like greasy hair, no shower, but I didn't care at the moment. I just need to get them.
Yeah.
And finally, 5 o'clock rolls around, and we're like, they're not out yet. What's going on? And finally, when somebody said, they're coming out,
Oh.
and everybody just like rushed to the door. We were running, we were sprinting.
Oh, it's giving me happy tears.
So, and then I have a little video of them coming out. Because I was like, where are they?
Yeah.
And they're so happy, and we're finally here in America, and we hugged again and again, and it was just like meeting them for the first time in Bucharest.
Well, because now they're 100% safe. You know, they're here. Oh, that's just amazing.
Yeah, and I got to the car. I was like, I could use some energy drink, and
we need to go home.
We're not staying at the hotel.
No,
this is my last push of my last adrenaline. We're going home, and we got home like at 1 p.m. and I drove. I think we stopped once for gas.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, girls, if you need to pee, hold it. And we just got home, and Mom came out and crying, and we all just hugged, and it was just so. Yeah, this is my story.
Yeah.
And Sophie told me, she was like, "You are my superhero."
Oh, she's so
I was
adorable.
like, I'm not a superhero. I don't have a cape. And she's like, not all heroes wear capes. To me, you are my hero.
Yeah.
And that's why I love my family. I love the support.
Yeah.
I love all the bridges that I've built over the years. And sitting across from you right now in your brand new RV because you're about to take off on a crazy journey.
Oh my gosh, I know. We'll get into that one on a later episode. But yeah, life is amazing, and the people that we keep around us is the most important thing about it. So, but we're happy to say that Sophie is now in school here, and she is amazing. She's so smart, and oh my gosh, I can't speak enough for how happy I am for you and your family and my family, because you're my family. So, but it's fantastic. It's been a journey, and it's been hard, and it's been sad. But right now it's fantastic.
I wouldn't do any of this without you.
Oh yeah.
I was contacting you every single day throughout my journey.
Well, when you left, you're like, I'm going over there. And I was like, okay, well, here's the thing, girl. You're calling me in the morning. You're calling me at night. You're telling me your exact locations. You're telling me everything, and I'm just like, if I don't get a call from you, I'm going to start calling around. So yeah, I was just like, nope. I'm going to be your eyes and ears, and yeah, I'm there with you every single minute of the day.
So after we came back and got settled in, my mom, she's like, well, I'm going to Ukraine.
Yep.
And I was like, what? She's like, well, you didn't leave me a choice. when you went bolted to save our family, so you're
like,
not
oh,
leaving me a choice either.
dang it.
Or like, I'm not leaving you a choice either.
Yeah.
So we had a little fundraiser, and a lot of our friends are really good musicians, and everybody came out, supported. So basically what Mom did, she got a lot of donations for the baby clothes.
Yeah. My mom sent a bunch of baby clothes too.
So she got the baby clothes, and she was able to actually go into Ukraine, because we still have family members over there that she met with, and they went to the local hospital, figure out what they needed at those hospitals, and they needed new nursing stations because they were operating on the older ones, and they had to break out the old ones from the warehouse as well. So they found brand new nursing stations in this like one remote village in this warehouse, and they were able to like purchase them and brought them back. And she just established all of this, and she told me, it's like, oh, now I know what explosion smells like.
Yeah.
Something I would never want my mother to know.
Yeah. You don't ever forget that smell.
No.
Or the compression or the sound. Yeah. Sticks with you forever.
Still rings in my ears.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so proud of her for doing that too.
Yeah.
And the fact that she's a hero in my life. Tiny is a hero in my life. Sophie is a hero in my life.
Yep.
You're a hero in my life.
Oh, you're my hero.
I love you.
Love you too.
Want to mention one thing, because this was a crazy journey that we went through, and we're still on this journey. It's still a lot of roads ahead, and with everybody who donated to GoFundMe page, we thank you so much, because that is for Sophia's future.
Yes.
We did all of that for her.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to say to all of you, be strong, be you, be the change.
Be the 21st century female.